Humans, what have you learned? Programmed to beat you. Same mistakes. It was programmed to beat you. Humans, what have you learned? It was programmed to beat you.
And that was so smooth, and then it's just cut me off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between, welcome back to the Future Racing League of Teams Championship. It's 2-1, and it's the final round of Season 3. It's also the final round for me as a commentator. I'm sure you're very sad about that. Not. But There we go. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm alone tonight. I've not been joined. Nobody wanted to join me. They wanted to give me all of the thunder. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be in for a good evening, a good race. And it's the Japanese Grand Prix, so I'm expecting a good race. The Japanese Grand Prix. This is a good start. This is a really good start. Didn't put my microphone as a input. That's really good. We're ready. We're ready for commentary. We're ready for the race. That's fine. Anyway, the Japanese Grand Prix around the Suzuka International Circuit. It's 18 corners spanning 5.807 kilometers or 3.604 miles. Most of the corners coming in the first sector with those dangerous S's, which on lap 1 are an absolute killer for a lot of the drivers. Then sector 2, also a little bit difficult as well. You've got the spoon, which is, well, that'll be difficult to go side by side through anyway. It's a blind hairpin, essentially. They've got to brake pretty much as they're turning in, which is going to provide a lot of issues. You've got just the one DRS zone because of the nature of the circuit, and that will come down the main straight. It's not the longest DRS zone on the calendar, but tonight that is exactly what the drivers will be traversing, and they'll be traversing it at speeds of over 200 kilometers an hour, because even though that final chicane will slow them down, they're just able to just get on the power, and they'll be prepared to go at such breakneck speeds. We've got Neb Restrom coming around the final corner. Hops has already started his lap, so we'll watch on board with the Alpine as he heads through the S's. Now, it's opening up the steering at different points. It's not just like a regular S where you can predict where to go based on the previous corner. There's undulation. It's a little bit crazy, and well, Hops has come out of it pretty well. It's the corner straight after that he seemed to struggle with, getting quite a big lock up. Here is Spoon, where he's going to go to the inside of that Williams Brown on the outside, getting out the way quite sharpish. Hops keeping the power down. The CRE driver, well, not the sole CRE driver, Michas, or I'm going to go with Michas. He can correct me. He is also racing tonight, so both CRE drivers are represented. The Alpine now coming over the crest of the hill. 130R is the next corner he's going to come up to. Full throttle. A lot of the drivers will be taking that tonight, unless they're going side by side, and I'm sure we'll see some drivers dive into 130R at those sorts of speeds. Round the final corner now, and up to the line. Hops goes with a 127.138. Neb Restrom will be the next driver across the line with a time. The Red Bull about to head through 130R. You need to take it as wide as you possibly can. He's done pretty well there coming out of the exit. Little bit, so Hops kept it quite consistently straight. Neb Restrom a little bit of not oversteering, but a little bit more turning on the exit, and he comes across the line with a 127.3 or 918 even. Leclerc, as Micha splits the two, 127.4, so almost perfectly splitting them. Leclerc around the final couple of corners, and he is going to come up to the line. What sort of time is the Aston Martin going to set? It's going to be a 128.0, so not the lap that he would have wanted to see himself come across the line with Josh Rose, one of the quickest drivers, one of the most consistent drivers that we have in our Tier 1, and he's going to come round to the final chicane. It's got a stupid name, I don't remember it. He's going to invalidate his lap actually as he heads through it, cutting that first corner and diving into the pits. More drivers setting times. That's Luca going up with the 127.722. I'm not sure how Salma hasn't invalidated there, but he's ruined his lap with that one. And he actually did invalidate in the end there. Rising Moon with the purple second sector, although that can be deceptive. And he's going to come around the final couple of corners. Yellow flags out behind for the Alpine. I think that is of probably Hops. Rising Moon up to the line, 127.7, so slots himself in 5th place. Fabio Maya, the next driver up to the line. It's going to be a decent time, but it's not going to be anywhere near toppling Hops at the moment. That was a tongue twister. Yeah, Fabio Maya, 127.868. So exactly 500ths ahead of Neb Restrom, with Leclerc taking that final spot on the grid for now. But hey, the drivers are doing it right. Did I say season 3 earlier? I hope I didn't. Was it season 2? I think I said season 3. But you know, we'll work with it. Season 3, season 2, basically the same thing, isn't it? 11 minutes and 42 seconds left in the session. About half the grid, maybe just under half. They haven't set their times yet. Both Mercedes of the AMS guys, they're expected to be up there at the top. Suzuki not racing tonight, which will be, well, slightly disappointing as somebody who used to race alongside Suzuki, but we live. He has sealed the championship heading into the final round quite easily. We haven't really got a championship fight on our hands. I don't think we have at all, actually. I think AMS have wrapped those both up. Probably why Tim and Salma are racing tonight. But there we go. We've had a decent number of participation across the season. 92 drivers competing in this tier. So, well, I've got no. Have I got game sounds? I have got game sounds. That's exciting. But yeah, we've got Salma's come out, Neb Restrom's come out, Josh Rose and Tim have come out as well. Congratulations to them. It is legal, unlike that one Bahrain clip, if you know what I'm referencing. But they are. I think they get more slander from the F1 community rather than the Japanese community. But nonetheless, I digress. I am slightly sleep deprived. This commentary could go very wrong. But yeah, as we've got a stream, so that's what matters. We didn't have a stream last week, I don't think. So yeah, shame we didn't get a stream as well, because it was the first victory of the season for TE. The two McLarens are the TE drivers. And Fabio Maya, you can see that's in his name. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you go out in this race to win? There's nothing to win, there's nothing to lose for most of these teams. They're going to be setting their focuses on next season. Which, by the way, is coming up. It's coming up a lot sooner than you'd expect. We've got the qualifiers in just a couple of weeks' time. So just mark these dates down in your calendar. The main qualifiers for Tier 1, which is the tier we're watching right now, as Salma goes for a spin on the exit to the S's. Tim is going to drive past his teammate, probably look thoroughly disappointed at him, but he's going to continue on. So the main qualifiers, the Tier 1 qualifiers, are going to be on the 8th of October. So just 2 weeks away from now, the Academy qualifiers. The day after, on the 9th, that is the renamed Tier 2, I believe. And then the Force qualifiers is on the 13th, so 5 days after the qualifiers for Tier 1. And then the Tier 1 season begins on the 15th of October, a week after the 8th. And that will kick off. That will kick off Season 3, the actual Season 3 this time, with Brazil. An interesting starting track. I would regularly have it at the end. I know that's because I'm a stickler. I remember 2012. I remember 2008. I don't remember it firsthand, but I remember it happening. I remember seeing it post. Tim across the line, 127.8. Restrum across the line, 127.6. Josh Rose up to the line. Not the quickest lap. In fact, it's the slowest lap, 128.0 is what he ends across the line with. Sam obviously invalidated. He's also not looking to set his time. JD Bergsma round the final corner, up to the line with a 127.613. That's enough for fourth place. Runnard was going very slowly, not 100% sure why that is. Maybe giving a toe to his teammate Leclerc. Yeah, he was. He must be giving a toe to his teammate Leclerc, trying to move out the way now, yeah. Pretty sure that's not allowed, boys, but I'll let it slide for now, because I don't think Freestyle is watching. So, we'll pretend that never happened. Leclerc, he's got a couple of corners to go before the end. I think it's the Dunlop. No, it's not the Dunlop curve. This is 130R. What's that final chicane called? I don't want to Google it because that would be cheating. It's got a stupid brand name. That's fine. Leclerc, he's coming out of the final corner. A little bit of toe from his teammate, a little bit of help. He can only take him up to 6th place. He's not, though, giving the toe to his teammate Runnard, who begins his first... Or, I think this is his first run. Don't know if he did a run before, or he invalidated it regardless, or came into the pits or something. Wasn't happy with it. So he's come back. He's come back out. He's gotten ready to do it again. And he's heading through the first chicane. Not the first chicane, the first S's. The first sector is what I meant to say. It's looking pretty decent, but a lot of these times are looking pretty decent. It's the minimal gains that you can get. Well, they're all within a second of each other. So I'd argue that's pretty close. Coming out of the difficult... Well, it's coming out of one difficult hairpin, heading into another, which is what Runnard is going to do now. He's coming up to it. You just sort of got to go, you sort of got to like lift halfway and then fully come off the pedal just to make sure you've got the rotation enough. But you've got to keep that minimum speed up. That's so crucial around this track. And with just a couple of corners to go, allegedly it's purple sector. I don't believe it personally. But Runnard, he's got a couple of corners to go. This is the final braking zone, at least. It looked like he backed out there. No, he didn't. Yellow flag behind. That's because of his teammate Leclerc. But Runnard's up to the line. 127.619. 6 thousandths off of JD Bergsma in 4th. Bran is improving. He's improved by a 1/10.5. He needs, well, 2 and a bit tenths to topple tops. To topple tops off the top. And Bran can't quite do that. 127.330. Bit of a wobble in that final sector cost him. Luca, though, found a 1/10.5 in that final sector. 127.605. He goes ahead of that little group in the 127.6s. That's himself, JD Bergsma and Runnard, all within just over a 100th of each other. Then it's Neb Restrom and Leclerc within a 10th. But the drivers, they've done their first couple of runs. They've warmed up, and they're ready, I think, for their final runs. I don't know how long we've got left in the session, actually, because somebody's causing a yellow flag. Of course they are. Salma retires from the session, interestingly enough. Luca looks like he tries to join the club. He doesn't. Sorry, I yawned there. That's very unprofessional of me. I told you I was sleep deprived. Luca looks like he tries to join the club. A bit of a spin on the exit. No risks taken. There's yellow flags out for that Aston Martin. I think it's Runnard. I think he's just going slowly. It's a weird yellow flag because it's followed him around the circuit. But it's only him and Luca in. It's almost like he's done it on purpose, so I can't see what the timing screens are. 3 minutes! Just over 3 minutes is what remains in the session. And, well, can anyone topple hops off the top? I said tops a minute ago. I'm quite glad that Brand didn't take pole position, because then that would have been the clip. But can anyone topple hops? Will it be Bran? I mean, as much as I'm rooting for Bran here, I would say that it's not my favourite cereal. It's pretty overrated. It's just oats, isn't it? Something like that. It's just boring. No, I lie. I'd rather eat plain oats. I'm a big fan of plain oats. Tangent. Anyway, Hops is out for his final run. Yeah, Bran's not come out yet. Mikas. Who else is that? Leclerc, Tim. Who else? The drivers, they're just starting to filter out now. I'm drinking a Lucozade. Not sponsored, by the way. If they'd like to sponsor us, feel free. But no, we're sponsored by Rogue Energy. Allegedly. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to be talking during this Rogue Energy. My favourite flavour, pineapple. It's pretty decent. It's pretty overrated, underrated. Not gonna lie to you, but yeah. Hops is gonna come up to the line. He's gonna start his final run. He needs, I think he needs to extend that advantage because Brands demonstrated that they can find those 2/10 somewhere. Mikas as well. He'll be looking to get on the front row alongside his teammate in the CRE car. CRE second place in the constructors, 77 points behind AMS. They've had a cycler drivers, whereas AMS have had Sazoi pretty much throughout. And that's what's really been the benefit. Purple first sector, allegedly, as he comes across to the end of it. And he heads through. Speaking of pineapple, you know what? I think this is Spoon. I think that looks like, you know, the shape of a pineapple, where it's just like it goes in and then it goes out with all the spikes coming out. That's what it's like to me, because not only is it shaped like that, it's also quite deadly. We saw Josh Rose, I think it was, go around it earlier, and spin maybe as the checkered flag comes out. Hops is improving by 0.5 He's going to come around the final corner. The first driver to come across the line and set a time. What sort of time is he going to go in with? Is it going to be a 126? Not quite. 127.076. Bran, it isn't improving. Unfortunately, it's quite a bland cereal, so there's not much room for improvement. But Leclerc, he's going to come up to the line 4 seconds down, so he's not going to set a competitive time. Tim around the final couple of corners, he's improved by 0.2. Can he improve by any more? 127.4. That slots him in 4th place. Josh Rose, I believe, is the next driver across the line, or the next competitive driver across the line. He's he's 0.5 second down on his time. That's 4.474 no, it's not. It's 0.474 seconds. What am I talking about? Josh Rose, he's up to the line, 127.602. The top 6 have completed their final times. Nebrestrom, he's not improving. JD Bergsma, he is. And he's going to come around the final corner. He's improved by 1/10. That will put him up into about 5th or 6th place contention. It's going to be 5th with a 127.353. Fabio Maya jumps up. Who is that jumping up? As we get to the checkered flag for this qualifying session. That's, well, Runnard's in 9th, so we know that he didn't improve. Or he may have done, but not enough. So that's Hops on pole position. Mikas, his teammate, in 2nd, a front row for CRE. Then it's Luca in 3rd, Bran in 4th, JD Bergsma in 5th, and Rising Moon finds himself in 6th place. Tim, the first AMS driver, in 7th. Then it's Josh Rose, Runnard, Nebrestrom, Fabio Maya, Leclerc, and Salma rounds out the grid after retiring really randomly halfway through the session. I will try and investigate now, actually, why he retired. because so Salma's just said lost the first because why not? By the way. It looks like it's going to be a dry session. All the drivers on the mediums for the time being. Decent number of nationalities, actually. Decent number of... we've got 2 Poles in there. 2 Dutch drivers, 2 Britons, 1 Northern Irishman. I don't know whether that counts as Britain. I'm not getting into the geography. And then three people from the world somewhere. Luca, Rising Moon and Neb Restrom. So that's fair play to them for knowing their location. If I took a guess, I'd say that Rising Moon's from the UK, because it feels like a default Xbox name. Do you know what I mean? Although Rising Moon, the 2 words are too correlated. I don't know. Luca, obviously Luca, you go to Italian, you go to something like that. But I'm going to go with the unpopular. I think Luca's English, personally. I'd say unpopular opinion. Nobody is debating me on this. No, not a single person is debating me on this. But I'm having fun. So, yeah, I reckon Luca's final answers. Luca, UK. I'm not going to specify where. Rising Moon, I'm going to go with, like, Dutch, maybe. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because JD Bergsma and Tim above and below him are both Dutch. But I just get those vibes. And then Neb Restrom. It's a really vague name. I don't know what a Neb is. Do the gamer card. Oh, British. Oh, that's a British gamer card. If I've ever seen one. With the old ABE logo as well. I hope those of you in the chat are enjoying the stream. There's 8 viewers currently watching me have I wouldn't describe it as a mental breakdown. I'd describe it as a mental deterioration. On my final race in FRLT, in our final race of Season 2 overall, with, well, no other races to go in the season from anyone. This is the final one. And we're ending it just how we started it. Tier 1. With me as the commentator, of course. Because I'm super cool like that, and I won't be doing that next season. Sorry, by the way, just to completely call him out, Travis, who was supposed to be joining me tonight, he's currently playing Roblox. He said he had. I will quote the comms chat. He said, I got training. So, sorry, we're gonna go to the 5 lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's lights. And it's action. We are away for the final time in Tier 1. Hops gets a great start. Mikas looks to cover off Luca into turn 1. It's side by side between JD Bergsma and Brand behind. Bergsma has the outside line. Bergsma takes P4. That was a little wobble there from Luca as they head through the S's. Everyone in total has got through pretty unscathed. Rising Moon and Fabio Maya taking interesting lines. It looked like they might have lost their rears, but in the end, they were able to hold their positions. Fabio Maya, though, losing one to Josh Rose, who's had a good start. Well, no, he's not, actually. He's lost one position. I thought he gained a couple. That's somebody going off that. Maybe Salma. It must have been Salma. Yeah, he's gone off again. So he's really struggling this weekend. He's in 13th place, and he's lost a gap already. Rising Moon has lost 2 positions. He's inside Leclerc currently. Not like that. They are ghosted as they head down to the spoon section. They're not ghosted anymore, as someone needs to tell Leclerc that, as they almost came together. Rising Moon on the outside line, just tucking back in behind, knowing that maybe it's not his fight yet. Maybe he needs to build that confidence back up. But as we head to the end of lap 1, Hops holds the lead. Mikas is following through, just a couple of tenths behind. The 2 teammates working together. Then Luca 7 tenths behind. A big gap to gain. JD Bergsma in 4th place, getting past Bran at the start. Tim's gained a position. Runnard's gained 2. Josh Rose has actually stayed where he is in the end because he got past Rising Moon, who's had problems. JD Bergsma and Luca side by side once again. Side by side between Runnard and Tim. And Runnard comes out on top in that little battle. Famio Maya making it past Josh Rose as well. The battle of the real names for P8 at the moment. It's a shame they're not fighting further up because I like commentating on real names. Salma is replacing his front wing. That lost the first challenge. Is not as on as he was hoping it would be. But anyway, going back to my point before we started the race. Travis is currently playing Roblox. He said in the... Salma's left the session. He said in the comments chat, I got training, sorry. But he's currently playing Roblox. Wonder what game he's playing. Don't know if I can view that. Unless he's training for... Unless he's got like a Roblox competition, which would be really funny. What sort of competitions can you do in Roblox? Sorry, it's lap 2. I need to focus on the racing a little bit more. The Roblox discussions can come later. But for now... For now, I'm going to talk about the tyre strategies. Luca is on those hard compound tyres, which is probably why JD Bergsman was able to get past him so easily, or get back past him so easily. Bran as well has lost out through that. But later on, they are going to be fighting. Back up at the front, we've got support in the chat from F1 Shorts, who is in the Discord. I saw your name earlier. You disappeared again. That's fine. That's fine. Ghost me. That's fine. Which team are you supporting tonight, F1 Shorts? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I can't remember off the top of my head. Runnard is behind Bran and Luca at the moment. They're both on the hard compound tyres. Runnard is on the mediums, so he will have the pace advantage at the moment. But with the way that the game has been in recent times, the mediums, they seem to fall off very quickly. F1 Shorts is AERO Academy. Well, your race isn't going badly then. Josh Rose in 9th, Luca in 4th. So, yeah, not going badly. But, yeah. Runnard, he'll want to get past Luca and Bran as soon as he can. I think lap, like, 7 or something like that will be sort of the crossover period, which seems very early. Because then you have to do 20 laps on those hard compound tyres. But that's what the meta is. JD Bergsman's actually closed in on the 2 Alpines, although one of the Alpines, that of Mikas, has broken free. 7/10 is what he holds to Hops at the moment. JD Bergsman just 3/10 behind Hops and trying to set himself up for the overtake. As they head around the final corner, time you raced in FRLT Tier 1 was horrible. Was I commentating that day? I feel like I was. I feel like I recognised that. I feel like I recognise your name. Which track was it? Because I've got a comprehensive list of the times I've commentated in FRLT, so I'll be able to reference that. Silverstone. Don't think I was. Why on earth have I heard of you then? Have you done 4s at all? We've gained 2 subscribers tonight, by the way. Thank you very much for the support. Continue with your support, please, throughout the night, throughout the rest of the season and the next. We've also got at some point, don't ask me when, a sprint series, which I can research for you in a minute. Right, Tier 1. I didn't do Tier 1. I lied. Sorry. Sorry, F1 Shorts. Did you do 4s, though, or something like that? Strategy could be interesting. Yeah, I think it is. I think Luca and Bran, they've got the upper hand at the moment because they're staying in the DRS of those ahead of them. On the mediums, Hops, I can't quite pick up what the CRE strategy is at the moment with Mikas. He's got the lead over Hops, I think. Maybe Hops is just trying to stay within the DRS at the moment, just hoping to cling on to it. Try to, I don't know, what, trying to stay within it, trying to hold JD Bergsman off, but then that sort of defeats the point of them not being close together. I don't know. This straight, though, that does bring a lot of advantages. Bran gets past Luca up into P4, and he will be the latest driver to assault, to launch an assault on the lead pack. The lead 3. But Bran's on the hards. So these two are primed and ready for the move. So I've got hiccups. You didn't do 4s. Okay. Did you do 2s? I recognise your name from somewhere. I've commentated on you somewhere at some point. WR, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. To be fair, impressively, the top 11 on lap 5 are all within DRS of each other. Neb Restrom and Salma. The only exception, Salma must be in AI mode because he's 55 seconds behind. Unless he's just legitimately that slow, which, I mean, I would be. So I can't criticise. JD Bergsma, he's setting himself up for an overtake on one of the Alpines ahead. He wants to split them and gets past Hops. Put some pressure on Mikas because at the moment there's no pressure on the lead Alpine, which is what Hops would have wanted, which is what Hops is going to like. But JD Bergsma coming out of the final couple of corners, DRS is going to be available to him. It's going to be available to Hops, but JD Bergsma is closer to Hops than the Alpine is to his Alpine teammate ahead. They could be going for a switch. They are going for a switch. Hops takes the lead of the race. Mikas drops down to P2. CRE dominance, Mayball fans. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. But at the moment, they're not breaking away too much. JD Bergsma, Bran, Runnard now got past Luca down the main straight. So I think a number of drivers are in contention. The top 6 at the moment, I think, are looking the most competitive. Fabio Meyer in 8th has dropped out of the DRS of those ahead. They could collide. Well, Suzuka 1989, anyone? Suzuka 1991, anyone? Was 92 a collision? Was it 91? I feel like it was. I don't know, I could be lying. Anyway, when Senna and Prost big crash, that one. Meyer's made it back into the DRS, but he's not within competitive DRS. He was 8/10. It's now 6/10, so a little bit more competitive than it was. And Hops, they're side by side. Bran gets past JD Bergsma. This could be the point where this hard compound tyres begin to hand an advantage to the Williams, to the Haas, to Rising Moon, Neb Restrom, and Salma behind, although 2 of those 3 drivers are out of contention for this race already, you could imagine. Mikas heads into the lead of the race. Bran heads into P2 if he can get this move sealed on Hops. Indeed he does. And P2 heads to the Williams driver. What a move. Spicier than his name would suggest. A little bit more flamboyant of a move you'd expect. Bran's sort of like, to me, Bran's like a DRS main straight overtake. But no, it was a late lunge into turn 1. More of like a pilau rice. I'm a big fan of pilau rice. More of that, although I know that those 2 foods are not remotely comparable. I digress. Bran can overcut. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think the overcut has become a little bit more strong the last few weeks. The last few years, it's just been undercut. But now we're starting to see more overcut strategies work. And so drivers are going more for them as Hops has a wobble on the exit. That could open the door for JD Bergsma behind in the Red Bull. But he's not close enough. So he's going to stay in 4th place for now. Bran is really pressuring Mikas for the win as they head round through the final chicane, out of the final corner. And the Williams will open up the DRS for the 7th time in this race. Did they get DRS on lap 2 or lap 3? Something like that. Anyway, Bran's going to close in. He's not going to close in enough. Hops was trying to pressure as well. The top 3 starting to break away. JD Bergsma not quite having the pace that he would have liked. Down that main straight especially, maybe he had issues out of the final corner because he's just caught straight back up. And this is where the race starts to settle into a rhythm. Nobody's going for moves as they're just getting prepared. Luca could be one that goes for moves in the next few laps. Hard compound tyres have been working for Bran, could work for Luca as well. But it's one of those things. We'll have to wait and see, unfortunately. I haven't got a time machine. If I did, I wouldn't use it for the FRLT round, because I feel like that would be... I feel like I could solve a whole lot of the world's problems don't necessarily need to know whether Luca is successfully able to overcut anyone else. I digress. I told you I'm tired. But Bran, is he close to Mikas? He's closer than he was last lap. Not going to go for the move into 130R. That's a shame. He would have been close enough to sort of try and pressure. But as he comes out of the final couple of corners, DRS is going to be available for the Williams once more. Down the straight, Mikas just pulls away. The straight line speed of that Alpine is a little bit too much. Hops closing in on Bran. Looking to the inside line, backing out Bran. Does he feel that pressure? He does, because he almost goes into the back of Mikas ahead of him. Watching WR and FRLT. What's WR tonight? It's Tuesday. Legacy Division? I'm trying to think. It's not Iron Man. It's not any of the regular ones. It must be Legacy. Yeah, Legacy. I thought so. That might be where we've lost a couple of our drivers tonight. Because some of these teams have also entered in that, I believe, AMS? Maybe? Which might be why we've got somebody who is in 7th place, who personally I don't recognise, and somebody an entire minute off the pace after not qualifying. I digress. You'll hear that a lot from me tonight. Bran's trying to close in again on Mikas. Bran is closing again on Mikas. Oh, why do I have such bad hiccups? Bran is closing again on Mikas, but again, just not quite close enough. The straight line speed of the Alpine, it's going to force the Williams to do something rash very, very soon, I think. Luca out of the final corner, by the way. These hard compound tyres are starting to light up. And he's starting to pressure. Bran goes into the lead of the race on Mikas. That's much more like it from the Williams. Heading through just with the DRS. Simple overtake. He was just close enough to pick up that slipstream, that powerful slipstream, as it gets more powerful as you get closer in. And he gets past the Alpine into turn 1. So CRE's dominance starting to slip. They're overtaken by... Ooh, this is a good question. MAR. MAR, that's exciting. Tim picks up 3 seconds worth of penalties. What else have MAR done? Not much all season, I don't think. Yeah, the highest is... They've had 3 P4s in the last 4 races, so we can't say it was unexpected that would happen. Luca starting to pressure JD Bergsman for that 4th place now. Such a big train. The hard tyre guys can save tyres. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't think that's what Bran's going to do. I think that might be what Luca's trying to achieve with those hards. Sorry, I yawned again. I need the sound. I don't have the sound at the moment. I'll save that for you guys. Yellow flag's out as Josh Rose has had a problem. Runnard's retired from the session. Safety car? There's a safety car. Did Runnard crash into the final? Runnard's crashed into the pit wall. Their breast room, I don't know who he's trying to fool, mate. There's nobody behind him and nobody ahead of him. But Runnard's out of the session. Josh is not going to fall too far back because of the safety car. Yeah, this is bad for the hard tyre runners. Bran, Luca, Rising Moon, and Neb Restrom will have a decision to make very, very soon as to what they're going to do. Whether they're going to come in or whether they're going to stay out. I hope that something like that happens again. I don't know what happened to Runnard in the end, because Josh Rose's incident was a couple of corners before that. I will try and find out what's going on with that. What's happening, Gary? You alright? Sorry, I got the impulse to do that. Bran leads this safety car. Something else to consider as well is when Hops and JD Bozeman come into the pits, when Fabio and Leclerc come into the pits, like they're inevitably going to on this lap for the hards, are they going to be allowed the time to catch up? Presumably, yeah. But if they're not able to catch up in 3 laps, then then who knows? I think they will, but then it comes down to what can Nebresrum do, what can Rising Moon do. Sam was finally overtaken Ronald, by the way, for that P12 spot. Maybe the hard runners can do hard, soft, soft, or am I a Ferrari strategist? I've got some bad news for you, buddy. Oh my god. JD Bergsman's a lunatic. Okay. He went for the Vettel. I respect that. I respect the attempt. But he's just handed himself a 10-second time penalty. But yeah, sorry to break the news to you, buddy. You are a Ferrari strategist. They've come in for the mediums. They're going to try and stretch those mediums 15 laps. I find that unlikely. But yeah, we'll see. Mikas came in on the previous lap, by the way. He's out in P2. He's played this perfectly. A hop drops behind JD Bergsman because of the crazy move, but Bergsman with 10 seconds. You know. Right, what I would do in this situation, if I was specifically Josh Rose and Josh Rose only, because this would work perfectly for him, switch back to those hards. Genuinely switch back to those hards, because they last a long time. Those mediums don't last as long as you would hope for. These drivers made them last 10 laps. And it felt like at the end, those hards were so much quicker. As I take a sip of my alcoholic beverage. Lucozade. What's happening now? What's happening, girls? Fabio Meyer and Leclerc. A little bit of a squabble under the safety car. That's good. We're not going to wait for Salma to catch up, are we? I hope we're not. Salma's not coming to the pits. The AI's a lunatic. I don't think we will wait, personally. Just because of how much time has to be gained. Stupidest moment ever was when I crashed into the safety car when leading. I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that before. It's that's the moment where you just stick in like 20 flashbacks just to try and cut back. Yeah, that's an appropriate moment to use a flashback. League races I don't lead, so I wouldn't know. I think I've only ever got one league race win ever. Thank you for the like, by the way, whoever that was. It was in an esports race. That's rough. We are going to wait for Selma to catch up. That is rough. I've never been what you would consider to be esports pace. So I imagine that's quite crushing though. Josh Rose is going to listen to me. Oh god. Josh Rose is going to listen to me. I just hope he's got some new hards. He might do. I know you can do. And he comes. My controller's going to go mental. Nope, new mediums. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That makes perfect sense, Josh. That's what... New mediums is a great idea. What? I guess because he's had them for 2 laps. And he's not losing any positions. I guess it makes sense if you think about it, if you go math it, but... Can I tell Luca and Josh good luck? I'd love to, unfortunately. I don't know whether they're watching the stream, but good luck to Luca and Josh. The 2 AERO drivers. We've got support for AERO in the chat. They're in 7th and 11th at the moment, so far a race to forget, especially considering where they ended up qualifying. Luca was in 3rd, Josh qualified in 8th, which was low for him. And then the race just wasn't translated. Bran has gained 3 positions. He started in 4th. The biggest loser, Luca. Then the second biggest loser is Luca's teammate, Josh. And Hops, who started on the front row. I believe he started actually in pole position. Better than your FRLT debut, P16. Listen. That's better than I would do. I would DNF. So... Yeah, my league races are crazy. I'm sure they're so entertaining to watch. Because I just spin. I didn't spin in 22 or 23. Safety car is going to be in this lap. Bran is going to lead us away. The tyre strategies are going to become interesting. The Williams is a lone soldier up there. The two Alpines are banded together. JD Bergsma splitting the two with a 10-second time penalty, which will not play into his favour. Those four are the main contenders for this evening, and Bran is going to get us ready to get going. The power is down. The pressure is on. The pedal is to the metal. And Bran nails that safety car restart. Mikas nowhere near in second place. JD Bergsma also nowhere near. Rising Moon seems to pick it up a little bit better than Hops, but not enough to make that move. They're all filtering through pretty well. Nope, never mind. Fabio Mai's gone for a little journey. Decided to prove me wrong. Just went onto the grass a little bit. He's all right. He's just 2 seconds down on Salma, so he should be getting a little bit action. What is this? Saitama? What does that mean? Bran's already broken the DRS, by the way, of Mikas ahead of him. JD Bergsma looking to pressure the Alpine. Not quite. There's a dive there from Luca as he heads down the inside of Tim. It's 2 by 2 as they head up. Hops and Moon, the other two. And Hops comes out on top in that one. This could be an impossible move from Leclerc as he looks to the inside. Nope, sensible. Backs out of that one. And P8 continues to be his. A wobble on the exit, though, from Tim. Sees Leclerc pick up incredible momentum, and he's to the inside. Pulling alongside there, wheel to wheel. Is he going to get ahead? It looks like he might. It looks like Neb Restrom might try to slice through as well. 130R sees its first racing action on lap 14 of this Grand Prix. And it continues as they head through the chicane down to the main straight. Josh Rhodes gets past Neb Restrom as Neb Restrom attacked Tim ahead of him. It went wrong. And what on earth? How on earth? Where on earth has Luca found this straight line speed from? He's got past Hops and Rising Moon. There's a little bit of a tap between the McLaren and the Haas, but Luca finds his way back up to P4. So almost up to where he qualified. He's got 1.3 seconds to go forward. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. I don't know what's going on. Good evening to 2KRZ. I personally think you should support. Trying to think. Who's the Aston Martin team? Because I'm a big fan of Aston Martin. I hope nothing's going on in the race. I mean, JD Bergsman's run wide. That's something that's happening. I can't find it. Anyway. I should know it off the top of my head by now. It is the final round of the season. So maybe it's just gone out of my memory. Josh Rhodes gets past Tim into P8, back to where he qualified. And the Haas is starting to demonstrate the pace that we know he's capable of. Bran with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 3.1 seconds up now on Mikas. Luca, though, sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he pressures JD Bergsma. Bergsma to the inside of Mikas. Bergsma heads through into second place. Luca looking to pressure Mikas on the exit, but there's just not enough room for him. Hops and Tim and Rose fighting. Rose looks like he had to give those positions back. He drops down to P10. So maybe a little bit of an illegal overtake, something along those lines. TTRE. Okay, I'm glad that I know that. Of course it's TTRE, because Runnard... Oh dear. Salma's coming to the pits. That makes sense to do. The AI. Lucas right behind Mikas. This is an overtaking opportunity if he wants to take it. He looks at it. He looks at it. He tries it. He's inside Mikas. Not in that way again. He's inside. He's ahead. Can he get ahead? No, he can't. He was momentarily ahead. But no such luck. Because Mikas' straight line speed just... It excels in comparison to Luca. Luca closing in on Mikas. Fabio Maya, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But this sort of like 4-car train... well... clearly you weren't here, F1 Shorts, when I said that same thing earlier. But yeah, yeah. Well, we love a little cheeky double entendre. Is that how you use that word? Anyway, Mikas and Bergsma side by side. Mika goes through, and he's up into P2. Hops gets past Leclerc. His safety car restart has not been up to scratch, and P6 is where he finds himself. 1.6 seconds behind Rising Moon, with not really an opportunity to climb back up. Josh Rose gets past. Nebra Estrom gets past. And you know why they're past? Because Tim's on the grass. He comes back onto the track just ahead of Fabio Mai, 5 seconds behind Nebra Estrom. That's pretty much his competitive race over. They're starting to split now. It's like the Hunger Games. Not really. They're starting to split now. Brand, who was that going around? Luca takes a venture off track. AMS is certainly having a race to forget. Ayaro could be getting there. Luca, he's showing the pace, not the consistency to be up there. He's in 7th place. It's recoverable. Hops is almost back into the DRS of a Rising Moon ahead of him. And then they're just going to be able to fly. JD Bergsman knows that he's got that 10-second time penalty. He's got nothing to lose. And 130R is where he's going to head through. Tim retires. It's the second safety car of the Grand Prix. And this works so well into the hands of those who came in for those medium compound tyres. Brand is one of those. And he dives into the pit straight away. JD Bergsman has to get rid of that 10-second time penalty. Those hard runners are coming in once again. I wouldn't. I'd stick out. Leclerc's stuck out. Come on, Aston Martin. Come on, TTRE. Everybody else, though, on the entire grid is coming to the pits. Unless you're counting Salma. I'm not. Salma's irrelevant. Brand comes out on brand new mediums. Rising Moon. Everyone's on brand new mediums, it looks like. Apart from Leclerc, who's on worn hard compound tyres. Okay, so Leclerc, he leads. He's got hard compound tyres on. 6 laps worn. Everyone else, apart from Josh Rose, because he's a loser, are on brand new mediums. Josh Rose has already used up his allocation of brand new medium compound tyres. He's on the 2-lap old ones that he randomly decided he didn't want anymore after the safety car restart. It was like a kid giving up their toy. I remember giving up a kaleidoscope for that exact reason. A few years ago. Used to love used to love history museums, mate. Used to love playing with the little toys. And then I'd get one and I'd never play with it again. But anyway, I think I've still got that somewhere. No idea where. I'll have to have a look. It's fine. I'm leaving this league after this race. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna get proof of that, unfortunately. Unless you follow my socials, which are, if you look up KOTKS, and pretty much any streaming platform. Not streaming. Well, streaming platform, yeah, but any sort of platform at all. You'll probably find me lap 18 of 27. We're 2/3 through this race. And I've got my first self-promotion in. Normally I do it right at the start or right at the very end. So I think somewhere in the middle, I've Goldilocks it for the final race. I'm not complaining. Nebra Estrom looked like he was backing off there just to make sure that we weren't coming in this lap. So, are the Red Bulls cooking? No, they're in 8th and 10th. But, are they cooking something? Do you think Leclerc has indeed got throw strategists? Yeah. Look, he could impede this battle a little bit. He can probably cause for chaos if ever. Yeah. It's like a, what's the word? A moving obstacle, I think is the term that I'm thinking of. Where obviously he's not going to be ridiculously slow. Those hards, I think those hards towards the end of the race will be quicker. That's my genuine belief. I know they're going to be 15 laps old as opposed to Brand's, well, Brand is my example because he's second, Brand 9 lap old mediums, but that's sort of like the crossover point, so it could be about equal. It's just about getting there for Leclerc, but I find it unlikely. Place your bets, place your accas. Don't back Leclerc to win. 8 laps on mediums is pretty easy. Yeah, well, I also think that, but with the way that the game has been since the patch, medium, the sort of the average stint in a 50% race on mediums is like something ridiculously short, like 7 laps or something like that. It might be a bit longer here. I don't remember the last time I commentated on a league race here. Well, it certainly wasn't since the patch because the patch was only last week. But the safety car will be in this lap because Salma, everyone's favourite backmarker, has caught up. And we're getting ready to go again. Hopefully for one final time. We will have one more safety car available to us if we feel the need, but Leclerc is going to lead us away. This safety car restart is absolutely crucial. Fabio Maya doesn't know how to drive under a safety car. He's just, to be fair, I think he was the one who was overtaken. But that's not benefited the Red Bull. Leclerc is getting ready to get going. He needs to nail this safety car restart. He needs to nail the pedal to the metal, and that's exactly what he's done as he's heading up to the line, though. It's 3 wide behind Hops, Luca, and Rising Moon. Rising Moon covers off Hops, and Luca just tucks in behind. It was 3 wide momentarily, and it's side by side, wheel to wheel up front. Leclerc and Brand side by side. Never thought I'd say those words, but Brand fighting for the lead of this race. Also never thought I'd say those. And he needs to get past the Aston Martin as soon as possible. Looking to the inside in the S's. Not able to make that move stick. The speed, though, the overspeed of the Williams should drag him past soon enough. And it's just a case of when, not if. Josh Rose and Luca swapping around the 2 AERO drivers. Switching positions. Luca, though, losing another one to JD Bergsma. Another one to Fabio Maya in the meantime. Although he's going to dive back down the inside of Maya, down the inside of Bergsma as well. What a move that is from Luca, if he can make it stick. A wobble on the exit from Bergsma, possibly as a preventative tactic to try and scare him off. But it doesn't. Well, no, it does work. But Bergsma runs wide, and he hands the position back to Luca. Brand, in the meantime, took the lead of the race. What's the name of that? Detective move? The one with the where you stick your fingers, your thumbs in your ears, and then you waggle your fingers a little bit. I don't know the name of that one. Anyway, Mikas is trying to get past Leclerc. There's contact between the two. He drops down the order, and CRE suddenly are facing not a disaster, but a little bit more of a difficult weekend. He's looking to get past Luca. Luca tries to defend it to the inside. Mikas goes even more to the inside. JD Bergsma's retired in the pits. That's a shame because he was having a good race. Luca fights back with Mikas, though, diving to the inside, getting through and up into P6. When was it? Safety car. Pretty early on. I think it ended lap 7, something like that. You doing CRA? Yeah. Well, Hops is still up there. And I think Mikas still has the pace. If he can stay within the DRS of Josh Rose, I think he'll be fine, but Luca won't want that at all. He'll be trying to prevent that as much as he possibly can, because it's just about picking up points now for the AERO drivers. They know they're probably not in contention for the win. Brand has absolutely dominated, and Rising Moon is struggling to get past Leclerc in second place, who's on those hard compound tyres and is holding up the field like a moving obstacle, like we mentioned before, because those hards just haven't come alive yet. Josh Rose pulling to the inside of Hops. As they head down the back straight. Not going to go for a move into 130R. Is anybody going to go for a move into 130R? Boring. Rising Moon, though, he goes for a move on the exit. Leclerc covers it off pretty well. His defenses so far this race have been pretty solid, to be fair. Or at least since the safety car restart. Mikas and Fabio Maya fighting over P7. Mikas getting back through side by side as they head down the straight. Rising Moon and Leclerc. Leclerc hands the position. He doesn't want to lose it, though, to Hops behind and they're side by side as they exit turn 1 now. And it looks like Leclerc just doesn't have the grip that Hops has at the moment, especially not through these S's, and the Alpine jumps up to P2, or P3, sorry. Brian has driven very good with consideration that he was unlucky with the hards at the first safety car. I agree with you. Well, he's driven well objectively. He's out of the DRS of Rising Moon. And I think for any driver who's on any strategy at any point in this race, that is that's perfect. That's exactly what he wanted. That's exactly what he would have wanted. Sorry, I've got a sore throat. I need the Lucozade. I need to find another one from somewhere. I'm not going to do that mid-race, though. We've only got 5 laps left to go in this race. And so, well, yeah, Josh Rose gets past Leclerc, the latest driver to do so, as the Aston Martin tumbles down the grid. Luca looking for another move. He's looking for one into 130R. He could be diving into the final chicane. Indeed, he does. And Luca outside, not inside. He looked for that switchback move. Brand with the fastest lap. Rising Moon taking it off him. Heading down the straight. Luca doesn't have the straight line speed that Leclerc does. But, yeah, they're just going to tuck him behind Leclerc, behind Josh Rose. Rose doesn't have DRS on Hops. Rising Moon doesn't have DRS on Bran. I'm sure they'll filter out in time. Leclerc wanting to get that move redone on Josh Rose. That's the one driver that I think he does have the opportunity to get back past. No, this is Luca. I'm completely lying to you. This is Luca trying to get past Leclerc. AERO podium. It's not impossible. Something needs to go wrong for the top 3, but it's not impossible. Well, obviously something needs to go wrong for the top 3, but like an error has to be forced from one of the top 3, and it's not out of the question. Rising Moon's pushing very hard to try and catch up to Bran Hops, and Rising Moon could be fighting over that second podium spot, but yeah. Luca getting side by side with Leclerc. Latest driver to pass. The second Haas now has gotten past Leclerc, although Leclerc's going to fight back through 130R, but the outside line is not the preferred one. And he tucks in. He might even lose another position to Mikas in the meantime. Contact as they exit the final chicane. Mikas just tapping Leclerc on the rear. On the exit, though, he gets through. Hops gets through. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm speechless with that straight line speed. It's happened the second time this race. Anyway, back to topic. Hops gets past Rising Moon. He's almost within the DRS of Bran. Almost within the DRS of Bran. So we could be seeing a fight. That's exciting. The Williams does lead, but Hops is 9/10 behind. With 3 laps to go. 3 laps. 25, 26, 27. So like 20. No. 20. What? 3.5 laps to go, I think that is. And Hops is just trying to cling on by any means necessary. Leclerc and Luca continuing to fight. Leclerc on top of that one, 6th place is where the Aston Martin finds himself. Yeah, Hops has dropped out of the DRS. He won't be having it down the main street unless anything goes wrong for Bran. Is it? May well have done. 8/10 for Hops. He's gained 5/10 somewhere. He's gaining a lot more than 5/10 now. And DRS is 100% going to be available to the Alpine as he heads down the straight. Fastest lap to boot. He's broken free of Rising Moon. And, well, I say he's broken free. 6/10 is the gap. And 5/10 now. Leclerc and Luca's still fighting. Luca, the latest to come up on top in that battle. Fabio Meyer has found his way through them in the meantime. He's up into 6th place. It's a decent race then for TE. 3rd and 6th. As it is pretty good to drive the fastest lap on 7 lap old mediums. Yeah, I agree with you there. But he's pushing hard. He's definitely the quickest driver on track at the moment. And that's represented by the fact that he picked up fastest lap. Now he just needs to get past Bran for CRE to have a comeback, a proper comeback, where Mikas... A couple of laps ago, they were 4th and 7th, I want to say. Now they're 2nd and 5th. And that could turn into 1st and 5th down the main straight. With just 2 laps to go then. We have just 2 laps to go in the FRLT season. We've got just 2 laps to go in my FRLT career. That's exciting, isn't it? I'm sure we're all looking forward to that. Hops is right behind Bran with the DRS as they head down the main straight. I don't think now is the point where you'd want to get past. I think it's the final lap. And Hops recognises that. So he doesn't push too hard. I'd imagine at the end of that straight there, he's probably lifting off the throttle. Oh. Okay. That was a terrifying lag spike from Rising Moon. Looked like he just went straight on. If I was Sada QP Sima, I would just pit to so fast lap. Well, there's one problem with that, and that's that he's been AI since about lap 4. I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah, we're not reporting him to freestyler. So yeah, there's we're not reporting anything to freestyler. We're gonna make a comment that possibly wouldn't be appropriate for the broadcast. But we are going without safety. Is the term that I would go for. If you catch my vibe, you catch my drift. I've forgotten my point, but all I can think about now is that word that I was trying to say. Rising Moon saved up a lot of ERS. Can't see Hops's, but as they come out onto the final lap of the season, Hops is 4/10 behind Bran. He will be looking to take the victory for himself for CRE, and Bran defends the inside line, moves across to the outside, but Hops, he takes the lead of the race. Bran tries to fight him back into turn 1. There's contact. Off goes an end plate. Off goes Hops. He's inside Rising Moon. Not like that. But he gets back ahead. Second place continues to be his. I think that end plate was one of the Williams because Hops just appears to have that turning circle. And so he's going to continue to fight. This is where Rising Moon can come in. This is where Josh Rose can come in. And Rising Moon not opting for the move. They've got just a couple of braking zones to go. 3, in fact, until the season ends, until the race ends. And Rising Moon is saved up for this moment. He's prepared for this moment. Hops and Bran, they came together. And Rising Moon didn't take the opportunity. He will be ruining that. As now Hops, he's going to pull to the side of Bran. This would be a ridiculous move. But yeah, he's backed out of it. Just trying to maintain the pressure on 4 different teams. 4 different drivers fighting for the victory of this race as we head now down the hill. It's down the straight. The final full straight we're going to get to this race. And Rising Moon to the inside of Hops. Hops trying to squeeze in. 130R move has been completed. No, it hasn't. There's contact between the Alpine and the McLaren. And that allows Josh Rose to come through. Come into this battle as contact again. As he dives way too late into the corner. Bran comes around the final corner victorious with Hops in second. Rising Moon in third. Josh Rose dropping to 4th. Mikas recovering to 5th. Then it's Luca in 6th. But yeah, Josh Rose, he tried to make that move. He tried to hold it to the inside line. Not quite there. And so an AERO podium slips away. Luca, though, with the fastest lap. So it's not a terrible weekend for them. But victory was taken probably by the right man in the end. Bran in first place with Hops in second. Yeah, the top 2 fully deserved throughout. We were right with the overcut in the end, although I think that was aided by that second safety car. But yeah, the Williams comes out on top. That of Bran, who is... What team was Bran? MAR. So yeah, the first victory for MAR in, well, especially Tier 1. I know that for a fact. CRE Hops in second. Unlucky not to take victory. Rising Moon, he prepared himself for that final lap, but just waited too long. Josh Rose in 4th. Mikas, who I appreciate his logo very much because it looks like an Among Us, and that's funny. He's in 5th place. Luca in 6th. Nebrestrom, Leclerc, Fabio Maya, and Salma somehow ending out the points. Then it's JD Bergsma, Tim, and Run of the 3 retirees. But thank you very much to those of you who tuned in this race, this season, for one final time in FRLT. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Humans, what have you learned?